Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the final round of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. We are V8's Online, broadcasting to you tonight live and in glorious high definition, with great thanks to our friends, the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. It's a great night to go racing. I'm Leo Gray, and with me tonight in the box as always, Stephen Sandman Clark. Welcome aboard, Sandman.
G'day Leo, g'day everyone. Looking forward to this. Can't believe the season's already come to a close. Here we are, final round of the championship at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
It's been an exciting 12 weeks, hasn't it? This season's had pretty well everything, and we'll probably recap what sort of happened as we go along through the broadcast tonight, but we've got to, of course, focus on the right now, and that is beautiful Montreal, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which saw an exciting race last season, and 32 laps ahead of us tonight.
It's exactly right. I'm still recovering from VIR. There was plenty of action happening there. And, of course, like you just touched on, the last time we visited here at Circuit Villeneuve, it was a sensational race. It was a little bit of controversy, a little bit of carnage. And in the end, I think it was Muggo that went out and took the winner over at Tats.com 1-2 over his teammate Madison Down.
Yeah, it was a great race out there. And this one, probably going to be a little bit different. This is the second time round. And being the finale, it's an all-out battle to the end, because there's going to be drivers who know they're not in the championship fight. They can just get out there, charge hard, and try and get perhaps the best finish that they've gotten in this series.
That's right. It's a tricky little racetrack, too. It's those first couple of turns off the starting line. When you got a barrel of 25 cars heading in there, it's it's really going to be crucial to get a decent qualifying position. And we've already seen a little bit of a shake-up in qualifying at the moment, and we still haven't hit final qualifying yet.
Yeah, really excited to cover that one. Of course, as always, 20 minutes of final qualifying to bring to you guys. The grid is looking like it's going to be an exciting one. There's a lot of movement in that one at the moment, and I suspect it will probably change. But we're going to have a bit of a look around this circuit as well. We've, of course, got someone to talk to tonight, as always, and it's Madison Down.
Yeah, g'day, guys. Hopefully I can take you for a decent lap around the track. It's really technical track, as you guys touched on, and yeah, what a big curb, so it's pretty easy to make a mistake here.
It is an exciting place to watch the racing, and with these long straights and tight corners, looks like it's a fun place to drive as well.
Yeah, I really enjoy this track. It probably last season wasn't great to me. I didn't quite have enough luck, but I made a good comeback and got to second last season. This season I just really haven't had the pace, to be honest, and been struggling a little bit with getting the car balanced. It's a really tough track. You need the car to be, obviously, keeping mid-corner speed up, but there's so many massive street circuit style curbing in the chicanes especially, so you need a car that handles the curbs well, and yeah, that's a real struggle to get that compromise right.
Yeah, mate, you're on the verge of something special here. How are the nerves, mate? Everything going right tonight. You're pretty much in the catbird seat to clinch your 8th iRacing V8 Supercar title.
Yeah, I'd never like to speak too soon, but it is looking good, as you mentioned, and yeah, it's not a great qualifying position so far tonight for me, and one of my main championship rivals is on pole position there, so it is going to take a pretty big effort from Renz to get the job done tonight, but at the same time, anything can happen. Whenever there's a mathematical chance involved, like there is, yeah, you can't take it for granted until the checkered flag's waved and everybody's crossed the finish line. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. It would be great to get an 8th title, but yeah, not going to speak too soon.
Been a big season for the iRacing series, and a big season for yourself. It was looking like it wasn't going to go your way early on, but you fought really hard throughout the course of the season. We're here at the 12th week, and things are looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good, and early on it was Muggo, first 4 rounds of the championship, I think he won, and he had a few real-life commitments that got in his way, and, so did John Emerson there as well, but I of course, had the race to reality halfway through the season as well, which did take up a lot of time out of my season, so it's been a tough one actually to judge. There's been a lot of real-life commitments for a lot of drivers, but yeah, it looks like it's all going to fall my way, hopefully, so we'll see what happens.
And of course the lap, take it away.
It's important to try and get a good run off that final corner. Really hard not to get wheel spin. Tough braking zone, you got to try and straighten this one out. Brake nice and deep, turn in early. Again, turn in fairly early here. I get down to first and change to second. Very, very hard not to get wheel spin out of there. It's important that you don't. tough corner this. This is one of those chicanes with big curbs. The outside wall comes up very, very, very quickly. This is completely blind. You got to turn in nice and early. There's no grip in the middle of that corner, and then you got to get the car settled, get it stopped, brake it nice and straight, use a bit of curb. Again, very difficult to get the power down out of here. You got to squeeze the throttle in very gently. One of the long straights heading into a prime passing zone, into another chicane with a bit of a curve on the apex. Very hard to get it stopped there, and again, power down off this corner is very, very crucial. Coming into a bit of a curved braking zone at the hairpin, great passing opportunity, but very hard to get it stopped here consistently. Down to first gear, very slow at the apex. It's only about 60, well maybe even slower than 60 kilometers an hour. First gear on exit, wheel spin everywhere there with 600 horsepower. Very, very long back straight. As you guys mentioned, we saw a lot of action down here last season with 3 wide and had a bit of a moment and a lot of contact into this chicane. Massive curbs down here too, so you got to be very careful of this. Hit them nice and hard. You run out of road very quickly on exit there. Try and not get wheel spin or go across the grass, it'll void your lap. But that's a lap of Montreal, and it's a very busy one, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice run there, Madison, and viewers, it's that was a quick lap. It's going to put him in the top 10, that one would have, but very exciting time to head towards final qualifying. Have you got more left in the tank for yourself, Mads?
Certainly got more. Not overly happy with my qualifying time at the moment. The car's probably good enough to be front 2 rows of the grid. I just haven't managed to drive a lap good enough yet, unfortunately. So yeah, definitely looking to move up, probably 4 or 5 positions if I can in this final session. It's just a matter of trying to get that lap right.
Now, it's a bit of a relatively new track for us for the iRacing V8 Supercar series. How do you feel around here in a V8 Supercar? Do you enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. It's, as I said before, it's a bit of a street circuit feel, and I think V8 Supercars on street circuits kind of work quite well. They're half designed for them with so many street circuits on the calendar in real life. You know, half the calendar street circuits with big curbs. So the cars do really suit this track with its street circuit type nature that it has. Even though it's a permanent racetrack, it's very tight, and the big curbs make it feel like that. And there's concrete walls everywhere. There's no room for error. You miss an apex and you're in the fence. And yeah, I love that about this track. It's very different to most tracks we go to, and I think it really suits touring car racing.
It does have that feel, like so many great events that are so significant in the V8 Supercar series, like the Clipsal 500 at Adelaide, great street circuit, and it's good to see these cars at a place that they really feel at home. Now, because of course you're looking like you've got this championship being pretty well close to sorted, Mads. What does this mean for you in the race? You're going to go hard and try and get a win for us?
Yeah, for sure. There's not too much pressure tonight. I know I'm behind anyway. Renz is up there on pole position at the moment, so yeah, all I can do is just try and win the race from where I am and drive the best that I can. There's not too much pressure on me. Pretty much no matter what I do, it doesn't really matter too much when it comes to defending. So yeah, I'm just going to try and mow my way forward and try and get a result. I haven't had many wins this season. I think I've only had 1 or 2, if that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for a win.
It's been a good season for TTR as a whole. You mentioned in your lap that it was such a good start to the season for Muggo, and pretty much all round for Tats.com. There was, I think people were starting to get sick of the old 1-2 there, a little kind of between you guys. But it's a good problem to have. But you've definitely had some pressure from the TTL guys too. So everything hasn't gone all your way, but you've had a great season nevertheless. Yeah,
for sure. We had a bit of a stranglehold on the start of this championship, and I think the 2 before it, we got a lot of 1-2 finishes in the Tats.com cars, and that was great. But I do know people were getting a bit sick of it, and we're being called Red Bull Racing and whatever. And yeah, it was good. It's been good that TTL's really stepped it up, and especially John Emerson, and he's really taken it to us. And we've also seen a few of the other guys, Richard Hempstead, Brad Ryan, Vale, they're always there, knocking on the door of wins, and also Renz as well at VIR to step up and take a win and get back to his winning form. That was great to see. So yeah, although I do like when we get a lot of wins and it's great for us and all that, you do need that competition in the series, and it's great to see other people step up and take the challenge to us, that's for sure.
Well, it seems like from here, mate, all you can do is go out there, have some fun, and race as hard as you can. All the best from us.
Thanks, guys. Chat to you later.
Good luck, mate. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to run through a quick qualifying preview for you because, of course, as always, we've got 20 minutes of fast, intense action to bring for you tonight. As mentioned, Rens Brookman currently sitting on a pole position, backing up from his brilliant win at Virginia last week with a 1:35.805 lap. You can see that Josh Muggleton, nothing in it for second place with a 1:35.821, and then about a tenth and a half back to Justin Ruggier, who's in third. Then we've got Maris in fourth, Lee Day fifth, Chad Chastain in sixth, Tobias Cerny in seventh. Then Madison Down, as he said, looking to move forward from the 8th place. Jared Filsell 9th and Lee Ellis in 10th. Looks like it's a bit of a sort of mixed up grid in there. There's some names that are a bit further forward than what they usually are, and it's good to see, as we've said, drivers stepping up, making improvements. It's going to make for an exciting qualifying and an exciting race, Sandman.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. I don't imagine that qualifying will probably stay too much like that. I guess Brookman will be holding his breath a little bit. He was in this position last week and had it stolen off him in the dying seconds of final qualifying last week. So fingers crossed he can hold on for a pole position. He's been very good, very quick throughout the week, and tell you what, absolutely nothing in between him and Muggo. So, and of course we heard from Downs. We're not used to seeing him back down in 8th place. So yeah, I think times will switch around a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys, some of these guys in the top 10 go, who have finally got an opportunity to show the speed that they've got. It'll be great to see how they run through in the race. The championship standings as they sit at this point in time, Madison Down leading the points with 2,145. Emerson in second place, 2,092, so 53 back, but he's not going to be racing tonight. Rens Brookman in third does remain with a very, very slim mathematical chance to take the title, but it would take a big strength of field to make that happen. From there on, these guys are mathematically eliminated from the title hunt. That's Val Ritchie's Josh Muggleton, 4th and 5th. Muggo, of course, only running 6 races so far. Michael Fabian, Dean O'Brien, Sean Kelly, Lee Ellis, and Bo Cattell round out the top 10. Then we've got Matthew Hill, Jared Filsell, who's done a brilliant job to make it up into the top split. Brad Ryan, Chad Chastain, Tobias Cerny, Sanjin Dalek, Lee Day, Ian Ford, Marlon McMullen, and Richard Hampstead are the top 20 drivers in points.
There's a couple of names there that you could say, what if, you know, it's amazing what can happen throughout a season. Obviously, real life commitments and all sorts of things get in the way, but we spoke that unfortunately Emerson is going to miss tonight's race, so that could have put a fair bit of pressure on Down coming into this one, so it sort of takes the pressure off him a little bit. But how impressive has John Emerson been this season? It's really been good to see, the pace for him, and the Good Game Falcon has been sensational. And, you talk about Muggo's start to the season, it was starting to look like there. We're wondering if anyone was going to be able to stop him. He won 4 on the trot, and then, of course, he got married, and, real-life commitments get in the way. But plenty of good names up and down the field, and we're going to make for a strong season next season. There's no doubt about that.
Next season is shaping up to be a big one for sure. Not having the Christmas and New Year break, I think, will make a bit of a difference to some of the participation in there, and I think that it's going to be a big one for sure. We'll have, of course, that main fight, the drivers you expect to be there at for the title, but then looking forward to seeing guys like Filsell and Brookman, who are really coming on strong at this end part of the season, and of course Justin Ruggier back in it.
Yeah, it's good to see Justin back. I know he would have been kicking himself having to spend some time out of the seat, but that's just the way things are, and he's been a very quick competitor, for a very long time, and probably had a fair bit of bad luck. So look out for him next season in the V8 Supercar Fan Group Falcon, and I think it's probably next season, if everyone can make all the races, it can probably turn out to be one of our tightliest contended championships in a long time.
Definitely looking like it could be one of the most competitive championships yet. Speaking of Ruggier, he's currently sitting 3rd on the grid, and we are going to see how that all changes heading into this final qualifying session. 20 minutes coming to you very shortly. We're going to be waiting for pictures to come through in just a couple of moments or so, but it's going to be an exciting session, and unfortunate that he's not here, but big congratulations to John Emerson on getting married, and look forward to seeing you back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, his pace, like we touched on earlier, his pace has been incredible, and he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with come next season. And it must be that time of year, because it was Muggo doing it first, and now Emerson. So yeah, it's look out for next season. If everyone can stay away from commitments, we're really in for a cracker of a championship.
No doubt there. But once again, focusing on the now, we're up for a cracker of a qualifying session. It's a tight little circuit, this one, not a lot of room to work with, and it's actually a pretty quick lap as well. The speeds are so high here, and then you've got those tight little chicanes. It's a beautiful place to watch some racing.
Yeah, not much room for margin. We spoke about some of the dramas that we saw in last season's race, especially coming into that final chicane, coming onto the front straight. A little bit of bump and grind and some close quarters racing, and this place really turned it on last season. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, 25 Angry V8 Supercars fighting for not a lot of real estate, and when it's the last race of the season, you've got nothing left to lose. It makes for some exciting fights. It's just about ready to bring you pictures here from qualifying at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and qualifying going to be so important here tonight. We touched on how tight this circuit is. It's vital to make sure that, well, any way you can get yourself further up the field is going to be beneficial. And 20 exciting minutes coming to you live.
Of course, one thing not to rule out too is that drivers do use a bit of slipstream. We've seen it last week at VIR. Obviously, it was very helpful in that place, but still a couple of good places where you can do it here at Circuit Villeneuve. Especially coming into that final chicane. So, it'd be interesting to see if a couple of drivers team up there and try to take advantage of the draft.
It's a track that really is made up of some very, very long straights and a couple of very short, tight chicanes. Current man on screen is someone we've been talking a bit about because of his dominating start to the season, Josh Muggleton. Of course, real life commitments mean that he hasn't been able to run a full schedule, but any time that he's been in a race, he's been a real threat for victory.
That's exactly right. Although, he's missed his chance to defend his championship, he'd no doubt be fairly proud of what he's achieved this season. To come out and start the way he did, four wins on the trot was incredible. And he's never short of pace, old Muggo, so no doubt we won't see much different from him tonight. He's got good pace on board, and he's really given that Tats.com Falcon a bit of a ring at the moment.
That's it, he is second on the timesheets, less than a tenth behind Renz Brookman, and any time that there's a Tats car on the front row, you know that you're in for trouble. Here he is coming up to that final chicane that Madison Down touched on. Big curves. You can see him take two wheels through all of that there, getting a little bit of the exit curve, making sure not to brush the outside wall, which is so easy to do here, of course. And he's going to complete a lap with a 1:35.9, only a tenth off his best for the week.
Yeah, it's not a bad start to qualifying, is it, when you can punch out a number just like that?
Yeah, always good to come out of the box firing. And then also bouncing over those big curves, his teammate Madison Down took us through that exciting run of Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. He thinks he's got some room to improve, and a 1:36.3.
Oh, just missed out on his fastest time for the week.
Very close. So there seems to be some time out there. It's a difficult track to get right, and it's always good when you can see drivers getting this close to their PBs, because it means we're in for an exciting session. Now here's an interesting looking car. This is Ian Ford, currently running watch this space down the side of his Multi-21 Sim Racing Falcon, so this could be an exciting thing to look at for the start of the season.
Yeah, of course, we talk about it, don't we, towards the end of the season. We call it silly season, where there could be possible driver swaps or even different colours, paint schemes and sponsorship announcements. So who knows, maybe it looks like there's something interesting and pretty exciting going over there with what is normally the Osram Falcon.
Ian's shown that he's got a lot of pace in the back half of this season. He's had some good results, and he's told us that there is still more to come from the driver and the team. So this could be definitely a driver to watch roll on season 1 2014. Now, the way that everything goes in the new season, teams, drivers, is going to be an exciting one to follow, because we've got to wait until the dust really settles in the first part of the season to see exactly how everything's played out. But we're hearing that there could be some pretty big changes to come, so we'll keep you updated as we find them out, of course.
PB there for Ian Ford, I believe, 137.107.
Moves him up about 2 spots on the grid, I make it. It's a lot easier to make 2 positions in a qualifying session than it is on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's alright, especially when these boys are barreling into the first couple of turns here at Circuit Villeneuve.
Speaking of Osram cars, we've got Wayne Burke coming around to start a flying lap. Got to be super committed into this turn 1-2 complex. It doesn't look like an easy place to get right at all, and we're told that it certainly isn't. And you see the cars, even on these runs between the corners, look a little bit unsettled.
Oh, looks like he may have just brushed the wall there on exit. And I think you'll find he'll abort this lap. Yep, there he goes. So
Lap
just
done.
unfortunate there.
And coming through the final big moment from Jared Vilsell.
It's one way to get some attention, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a difficult chicane, that one. It will have hurt his run, but he'll push on and see what he can make out of this lap. Jared, of course, a driver we've had our eye on since Race of Champions at the start of the season. He was tipped to be, well, one of the up-and-coming big things for the iRacing V8 Supercars series, and he's shown himself already to be a solid top 10 contender.
Yeah, got himself tied in with the V8 Supercar fan group, ANZ Motorsports. Yeah, a good tie with him. He's got some good people around him, and you know, every week he no doubt is learning and getting faster and faster, so it's good to see. Sorry, mate.
Alright, I was going to say we've seen a couple of occasions where he's shown up a couple of the big names, sometimes even outrun his teammates, which is exactly what you want to be doing when you're trying to make a name for yourself. Also, just watching the timing sheets there, we can let you know that Madison Down has just set a personal best with a 1:36.193, which by my count puts him 5th on the grid.
Yeah, he'd be happy with that, and you know, he briefly said off air that he said there's more in it, so it's good. He's moved up a couple of spots there from 8th to 5th, so yeah, if there's more in it, look out for the front row.
Now, Vilsell had a cleaner run through the chicane that time. He's going to cross the line, 36.758. Not quite a PB, he's sitting on 36.4, but we saw that he had a sloppy run to start the lap. Man on screen is the Powerbond Daco Ford Marlon McMullen, who is the reigning V8 Supercar American champion. Great to have that series on board, and great to see drivers from this series like Marlon McMullen getting on board that one to get a bit of extra seat time.
Yeah, he'd be fairly chuffed with that. Nice little effort. Oh, he's had a moment there and he's made hard contact with the wall there, so that's lap over, no doubt about that. But looks like just got a little bit crossed up and touched those curbs and fired straight to the fence.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was coming in all too hot, so perhaps a great demonstration of just how easy it is to get this place wrong.
Just gone over the halfway mark of this qualifying session already. 10 minutes gone, so quick. But the man on screen, George Paris, as he attacks the chicane up on 2 wheels.
Very aggressive over the curbing.
Yeah, certainly looks the part.
Now Maris is looking very, very strong on the timesheets at this point. Currently sitting in position 4 with a 1:36.188. So great showing by Maris, who doesn't quite have the full support from a big team like some of the others do. Great to see him getting up there and mixing it up with the big name teams.
Oh, looks like he's made contact there. Yep.
That's that blind corner that Madison Down was talking about, and just the tiniest of little errors there, and it costs you your lap.
On screen in the Tats.com Falcon, John Muggleton. He's only a fraction away from pole position. He knows there's absolutely nothing in it, and his session's been a little bit sideways there on exit. There's nothing in it in the time, so you know when it's that incredibly close, it can be just just attacking those chicanes just that little bit harder, and there's your time. But of course, if you attack them too hard, well, it looks like he's made contact to the inside wall there as well. It's amazing how many people have been caught out by that blind right-hander.
Now, because of course our current pole sitter is not in this session, Renz is off in a European serve, we're going across with Reese for Gaming Headsets, who's going to keep us updated as to how that's going. What have you got, Reese?
Yeah, guys, I'm watching the session right now. Renz Brookman is just on an outlap right now, but he's currently sitting on a 35.903 in this session, which is a 10th off his PB, but he's looking a bit racy, so I'll see what happens. Also in that session is Chad Chastain, currently on a 136.16, and Tobias Cherney is on a 137.23, so that's all I got for now.
If I'm hearing those numbers right, that means that both Chad Chastain and Tobias Cherney have improved on their PBs. Thanks for the update, Reese. We'll no doubt be talking to you a fair bit tonight.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Good luck.
If I'm looking at this correctly, it looks like Chad Chastain will have actually jumped up a number of spots on the grid, possibly as high as 4th there. So it will be great to see how everything shakes out once we get everything back together. And it's going to be, well, I think this grid's going to be changing big time.
Yeah, the times are so close, and of course you take into consideration the European server, anything can happen, and yeah, you no doubt those boys over there are fairly hungry and they want to get the job done. They know there's a couple of tenths left in it for these guys, and the man on screen, Madison Down, he's having a red hot go here too. So yeah, don't hold your breath, don't place your bets yet for pole position, because anything can change in the next 6 or 7 minutes.
We've seen a couple of times already the pole sitter going into this session not be the one starting from first position once we get to the race, and Madison Down doing his absolute best to try and keep that trend happening. He's pushing remarkably hard on this lap. You see the car sliding about on exits, pushing in as hard as he can under brakes, and it's tight hairpin. Doesn't look like a comfortable place for a V8 supercar to be.
Of course, we only have to think back as far as last week, where Madison Down burst the balloon for Renz Brookman, where we thought Renz was going to have pole position, but on the very last lap of qualifying, Madison Down managed to punch out a number, and I guess Renz will be doing pretty much the same. Oh, big moment for Down. Contact. He just got unsettled through the chicane there and made heavy contact to Champion's Wall there.
I was about to say, you know what they call that one?
Seems fitting though, doesn't it?
That's it, just goes to demonstrate how tough this place is. When you don't have runoff areas and there's just cold, hard concrete wall to greet you, things get pretty big, pretty bad in a hurry. And we've got Bo Patel driving one of the Multi-21 Telstra cars. Very taily in the first part of this chicane. That's going to hurt him big time for lap speed.
Yeah, just upsetting that right rear tyre a little bit, just playing real friendly, but yeah, Bo's having a red hot go. And of course, we were lucky enough to catch up with him on the latest episode of Short Shift, which should be out in the next couple of days. It was good to catch up with Bo and have a bit of a chat to him, and he's looking for a big next season, no doubt about that.
Yeah, the Short Shift segment is a great addition to V8's Online. Gives us a great insight to what happens behind the scenes from a lot of different areas, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one for myself, Sandman.
Excellent, mate. That's what we like to hear. We've got a bit of a following, and of course, don't forget you can go and like our Facebook page too at shortshift.tv. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kennedy should be working hard as we speak behind the scenes to get that episode hopefully out in the next couple of days.
Now, Cattell has improved his time a little bit, but runs big time wide through the chicane. He was getting a big toe down that back straight by Ian Ford. Perhaps that cost him in the braking zone. But I was going to say he did improve his time in a previous lap by about a tenth. So great to see the times are falling in this session. Only 3.5 minutes remaining. Now one of the TTR hyperstimulator cars on screen, Sean Kelly. He's looking like he may be on an outlap at the moment, but getting out of the way for traffic there.
Yeah, just trying to find himself just a little bit of real estate, some clean air, and he'll have a red hot go. Like you said, we're fast running out of time, 3 minutes left in this session, so...
Now, I can't actually find Sean on the time sheets at the moment, so he could be one that's needing to set something and make something happen in this session. Got another one of the Osram cars, Wayne Burke on screen to begin a lap. Might hop on board for a bit of a lap around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve with Wayne Burke in the Multi-21 Osram Falcon. Oh, he's cooked it into the hairpin there. You saw the car get big time taily under brakes heading into that braking zone and locked up the rears and nearly looped it. And with just over a minute to go, we're going to have drivers scrambling for some real estate, trying to get a lap in. Tats.com cars lining themselves up to try and maybe have a bit of a drafting train. Currently on a flyer, Jared Filsell in V8 Supercar Fan Group Falcon. Very close to improving his PB in this session.
Oh, yeah, just got a little bit hungry through those chicanes and that spoiled his lap, unfortunately.
And heading into the turn 1-2 complex, Tats.com driver. Can we call an 8-time champion yet? Madison down.
You probably could. He doesn't want to say that just yet. He's playing his cards safe at the moment. But look, mathematically, it'd have to be a pretty big day as far as you know, the soft for the next race for it to go pear-shaped for him. But yeah, he's certainly looking the goods.
Setting some very strong sector times. Currently set the fastest time in the session to the first sector. A 36.193, his current lap time. Maybe a little bit left in the tank. We saw this last week, didn't we, Sam Man?
Yeah, that's right. He's no stranger to stealing them at the last second. He's already found pace tonight. So he's jumped from 8th to 5th place, so His fastest time in this session is his fastest for the week, a 36.193. But if he wants to grab pole, he needs to get to the 35s. A 35.805 is our current pole time. So anything faster than that, and providing the European guys haven't gone any faster, he could grab pole position.
Heading through the final chicane.
Oh.
Big two-wheeler nearly catches Champions Wall again. And that'll send him across the line to complete a lap with a 1:35.948 new personal best, but not quite good enough for pole position.
Yeah,
Madison
that'll put
down.
him in P3. So he's found some decent time from 8th to 3rd.
Yeah, excellent job there. And Muggo almost with a PB. But that's Sean Kelly setting a PB as well on that final lap at 36.7. Yeah, exciting session there, and going to be interesting to see how this grid pans out. We're going to have to check in with Reese in the pits and try and get an update from the European server. I don't think we have Reese. We might have lost Reese, but we will keep you updated once we actually see how everything is stacked up. But we can run through the results of this current session because Josh Muggleton is the fastest driver in this session with a 1:35.916. Madison down, big improvement up to a 35.947. Only 2 drivers in the 35s. Followed by George Maris, Jared Philsell, strong lap by him, Ian Ford, Marlon McMullen, Bo Cattell, Dal Nish, Sean Kelly, and Wayne Burke rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, through the rest of the order, Lee Ellis in 11th, Corey Preston in 12th, Dean O'Brien 13th, James McKnight 14th, Sanjin Dalalik in 15th, 16th got Martin Carroll, Jake Burton in 17th. The other 2 drivers not to post a time, Mitch McLeod and Lee Day.
Well, this is setting us up for a big finale to the season. We have got Reese with us in the box. Reese, have you got an update from the final qualifying from the Euro server?
Yes, I have. Rens Brookman has improved his time to a 1:35.755.
Wow.
Nice.
That is a big statement from Rens heading into the final race of the season, backing up from his victory at VIR.
Yeah, certainly. I'll be looking forward to see what he does with that in the race.
That's right, and of course, that's where we're heading next, viewers. 32 laps at Montreal. We're going to take a short break, but of course we'll be back not long after this. Thanks for watching V8s Online. We'll be back very shortly.
It's a little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past. Into the back of... Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the final round for this season's iRacing V8 Supercar Series. Of course, we are V8's Online broadcasting to you tonight live and in glorious definition. And once again, thanks to our V8 Supercar fan group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. Great to be back here for the last race of the season at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's going to be a great fight to the finish with, you know, nothing else left to play for. It's going to be all out, and of course, along for the ride, of course, Sam Man Clark.
How you going, Leo? I'm looking forward to this. A little bit sad, though. It's the end of the championship. Looks like Madison Down's done everything. He's ticked all the boxes, and we may be calling him 8 time at the end of this, but he's driven well this season. Both Tats cars have done a sensational job, but really looking forward to it, and 32 laps should be a lot of fun around here. It's been a very diverse season. We've seen a lot happening, and it really sets us up for a brilliant 2014. A quick run through those championship standings. We see that Madison Down is 53 points clear of John Emerson. Emerson not racing tonight, though. Renz Brookman in third is a very, very slim mathematical equation for this title, but it would take something remarkable for that to happen. Then Val Ritchie's a very strong fourth. Josh Muggleton in fifth with a number of wins, but hasn't run the full season. Michael Fabian, 6th. Dean O'Brien, 7th. Actually had a win at Laguna Seca that we didn't broadcast. Sean Kelly, 8th. Lee Ellis in 9th. Bo Cattell in 10th. Then Matthew Hill, Jared Filsell, Brad Ryan, Chad Chastain, Tobias Cerny, Sanjin Delilik, Lee Day, Ian Ford, Marlon McMullen, and Richard Hampstead round out our top 20 in points. Also, while we get a chance, we'll say big congratulations to John Emerson too, who got married over the weekend, so that's why he's missing tonight's race. So congratulations, mate. We look forward to seeing you next season. And tonight's race, 32 laps around this beautiful circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. That's just on 140 kilometres of racing, which also means we could be in for a pit stop. And to explain all that for us, we'll touch base with Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, 32-lap race, as you did mention, Leo, and I'm hearing from a couple of team bosses that we might be seeing drivers pitting around lap 12 or thereabouts, whether it's for fuel, tyres or not. I wasn't able to get any information on that, but I would expect that tyres are definitely a factor in the pit stops. Yeah, we saw a lot of sliding around in that qualifying session, and with the nature of this racetrack, could be a little bit of bumping and banging that could excite some rear tyres, so fresh rubber could be king. Yeah, certainly. We have seen some very exciting racing at Montreal in the time that we've had it on the schedule, so I'm definitely looking forward to the race. Thanks for that, Reese. No doubt we'll be talking to you later tonight through the program. Oh, yes, certainly. Now, we are just loading into the session. We'll be bringing you pictures very, very shortly, but they're going to be in for one exciting race. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's a beautiful circuit that puts on some fantastic racing. I've seen great battles here, Montreal through NASCAR, Formula One, even Champ Car and the like, but this circuit, of course, is 4.3 kilometres in length, 13 turns, some extremely long straights, very tight chicanes, and as we said, it's a difficult place with these concrete walls just to keep you on your toes. The best bit is there is a good couple of passing opportunities, especially down that long back straightaway. If you can get tucked up underneath the rear wing, get a bit of a toe down that straight and make a move to the inside into that chicane, that's just one of the places. So good little racetrack, and it will turn it on. We saw that last season, so I'm looking forward to the drag race in the first two. I love the way this place races, but of course qualifying is vital to making sure you have a clean run because of how tight this place is. It's easy to get mixed up in the first turn, but to run through the starting grid, last round's winner from VIR, Renz Brookman, carrying some strong momentum with a very, very strong qualifying time. 1:35.75 puts him on pole from Josh Muggleton, a 1:35.8. Madison Down, the only other driver in the 35s, third place with a 35.9. Then Chad Chastain did move up in that European session, so excellent starting position there for Chad.
George Maris in 5th with a 36.1. Lee Day, Tobias Cerny, Jared Filsell, Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen rounding out our top 10.
So check out the rest of the field. We've got Lee Ellis in 11th place. In 12th, it's Bo Cattell. Sean Kelly in 13th. Wayne Burke in 14th. In 15th, it's Sanjan Delalic. In 16th, you've got James McKnight. Chris Stone in 17th. Dean O'Brien in 18th. Samuel Collins in 19th. Michael Schreier in 20th. And in 21st place, Brad Ryan without posting a time.
Yeah, interesting move from Brad Ryan there to come from the back of the grid. Perhaps that could be one to follow. We've seen some pretty bold passes from him. Yeah. Might be an exciting driver tonight.
He's had some fun in the past working his way through the field, but he'll have his work cut out for him tonight.
That's it, 32 laps. It's 140 kilometres, plenty of racing, but very, very tight and twisty circuit. But I think it's going to make for an exciting fight. And what are your thoughts for the night, Sandman? You saw a strong drive from Brookman last week. How do you think he'll go tonight?
Mate, I backed Brookman last week. I'm gonna back him again. I'm gonna say 2 for 2. He's pumped about his qualifying time. He's got it on pole position. Wasn't snatched off him this time, so I'm gonna back Brookman.
I think that's a pretty smart move. But what I'm really looking forward to seeing is, well, you know, nothing to lose. Just 32 laps, hard racing right to the end, and this is what we came for. The revs rise on the grid at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Green, green, green.
Check out the start. Muggo. Great start from Muggo to both Tats cars right around the outside of Renz Brookman.
Look at that pack streaming through the first 1 and 2 turns. Tight piece of real estate. Maris losing positions.
Yeah, a little bit of cloth. Nearly had a big altercation back there. Everyone under brakes just trying to find a little bit of real estate. So Maris falling back. One of the cars that got back off in the grass too. That's Tobias Cerny.
Yeah, 3 wide back there as Tobias rejoins. There's a couple of Osram cars trying to squeeze through. Tobias
he's in the fence too. He's hard into the fence.
Yeah, look at this field scrambling to get by. He's managing to keep on there. Looks like he's going to have a pretty wounded race car.
Yeah, he just got caught there offline, and all those guys were trying to jostle for position, and unfortunately that contact may have ended his race. We'll have to see. We'll get a bit of a damage report and see. We'll feel it out for the next couple of turns, but fingers crossed things aren't too bad. He can continue on.
Heartbreak from 7th to 21st, but at the front of the field, Josh Muggleton leads from his Tats.com teammate, who's putting big pressure down into the hairpin. Brookman, even though he's fallen off from pole, has not wasted any time getting onto the back of Madison Down. And then it's a bit of a breakaway down to Lee Day and Chad Chastain.
Plenty of happening here on the opening lap. We're hearing Wayne Burke may have lost a couple of spots there too. So nice tight start racing, and you see these guys, it doesn't take much. You get a little bit offline or you miss a braking zone, and the cars are so bunched up, you just give up a couple of spots so easy. Oh, looks like one of the Tats cars, no, the hypercars have gone straight on. Lee Ellis
in the pits. Had a penalty for a jump start because it's far too early to be making a pit stop for strategy's sake.
Yeah, disappointing for Lee. Hopefully we'll try and find out what happened there, but yeah, you probably think that's probably the only thing that could have happened. Yeah, disappointing.
Back at the front though, Muggleton does have about an 8/10 of a second gap back to his teammate, but Brookman putting big pressure on Madison Down. I don't think that he's going to let these Tats cars get out of sight in a hurry.
No, it's early days too. Brenz has got it. We've seen Brenz has got a really fast race car this week, so he'll feed off the momentum he got last week. He knew he was in this position, and all he needs to do is just hit his marks and let the race sort of go on and take its course, and we'll see how it all plays out once we start thinking about pit stops. Good chance to have a look at onboard camera here at Renz Brook and look forward to Madison Down. A little bit of a moment there as he just bounces off the curb, but all he needs to do is just stay in touch with these guys, not worry about them too much. If he could just sort of stay in that slipstream down this long part of the racetrack, that'll sort of make his job just that little bit easier.
And we've seen a lot of smart pit work from the Dynamic Supersport crew. Look at Madison Down sideways through the chicane there. Oh, and George Maris, who was running a very strong fifth position. cut track penalty for that final chicane, he's going to lose a bunch of positions.
Yeah, he's back to 9th place on the grid now, unfortunately, so it looks like he's still having to give up some more time. He hasn't quite given up enough speed, so, man, that's going to cost him big time.
He's gotten himself back up to speed as he runs side by side with Dean O'Brien, but D5 down to 11th, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, you think about the start he had, he started in 5th place, so to be as far back as he is at the moment, he'd be absolutely gutted, but still a long way to go and still time to make up some positions.
Now, someone who was a part of that battle that's having a very strong run, Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports Falcon, sitting in 4th position.
Yeah, he's got himself a little bit of a margin though to the top 3, a good sort of 2 seconds or so. But he's doing good. He's just starting to open up a little bit of a gap too over Lee Day. So early stages, but it's good to see that the pace that Chad's got on board this week.
Of course, one of the big name drivers from the V8 America Series. Great to see him. Well, running with the front drivers here, but look at the way the top 3 have closed up heading into the chicane. And Madison down once again, very sideways heading through that second half.
Muggo's got to cut track, so he's had to back off right away. That's handed the lead to Madison down, and it's falling into the hands of Rens Brookman as well. We'll go and check out a bit of a race recall replay just to see. You can see Muggleton just as he bounces through those curves, and unfortunately that's a killer. You just have to back out and you give up all that track time. So easy to do. You just grab just a little bit too much curb. And of course, one thing we haven't really touched on is if you get too many off tracks, you can get DQ'd from the event.
That's right. We've seen that happen a number of times through the season to some unfortunate drivers, but with the nature of this place and the proximity of those walls, I think that if you go off, you're going to go off in a big way.
Oh, how's the battle up front here? Brookman's really keen to get the job done on down. He knows he's got the pace. He puts it up the inside, starts to think about it, doesn't quite get alongside there, but he's going to race Madison down. He knows Madison's fighting for a championship. It's pretty much in the bag, but these guys are going to go toe-to-toe for the rest of this race. This is going to be an absolute ripper.
Down went super late breaking into that chicane. He's not going to let this one go easily because we heard in the pre-race that he's going to fight as hard as he can for a win. He's got nothing else left to really contend for tonight. But Brookman in the same boat, going to go hard out and try and bring it home with a victory.
One thing Brookman's got too, he's feeding off last week. He had great pace last week, got pipped on for pole position, but his race pace was sensational. And there's nothing like a win to boost the ego, and he's really got pace here this week. And he just puts a little bit more pressure on the back of down. I think he can probably take this position, no worries.
You saw him poke the nose out heading into the chicane, just letting him know that he's there. Taking a wider line into the turn 1 and 2 complex, which allows him to really close up into the back of the Tats car through the second turn. Gee, Brookman looking very racy at this early stage of the race.
How's Downs' form? He came into, before final qualifying, he was sitting 8th on the grid. And then, of course, he improves, or as he gets a little bit sideways there on exit, he improves in final qualifying, starts 3rd, gets a good start to 2nd. His teammate has a whoopsie, and now he's got himself in the lead.
Now, of course, it is looking like Madison is going to come away with championship number 8, and it's drives like this, and I think back to the Bathurst round where he had limited preparation due to Race of Champions and still came away with a big haul of points. Drives like that really make for, well, that's why he's a champion.
Check the pack here a little bit back. It's Jared Filsell and Bo Patel. These guys are racing for 6 and 7, is it?
Patel?
Oh, Bo's had an off track. So he's got a slow down penalty, so unfortunately Bo's going to give up all those positions.
Oh, check out the battle up front though. Rens is trying to get a bit of an overlap heading into the chicane. Madison down, running defensive. Going to make Rens go the long way around. Can you run side by side through the chicane? I don't think you want to, but they'll try it anyway.
Oh, it's a battle of the brake pads. They go into the chicane, trying to grab too much curve, a little bit sideways there. It was Rens Brookman trying to get on the power, but these guys really having a red hot go.
Oh, Madison down is going to be subject to some massive pressure tonight by Rens Brookman. I think Rens is trying to play it smart, trying to force Madison into an area. You see him just placing the car in a way that will try and unsettle the Tats car. This is going to be a cracking fight. Got no doubt about it.
Things are tightened up a little bit back here for 4th and 5th position between Chad Chastain and Lee Day. Lee just slowly starting to pull in that margin there to the back of Chad, but you know what, Chad's got his eyes on the prize because he's looking forward. You can see Muggleton not far in front of him either.
That's it. Chad Chastain's lap times are looking good, running he's in the 3s, same as Muggleton and Brookman, but Lee Day, his lap time there is a 1:37.0, actually the fastest of the entire field last time by.
Be happy with that. 3/10 up his sleeve. Facing these guys down, you definitely take that on any given Sunday.
Oh, Renz Brookman sideways out of the hairpin. He's trying to get an overlap and a passing position any way that he can on Madison down, but that run out of the hairpin won't help him this time by, but he'll recover and push on for another lap.
The pace that he's showing at the moment, you'd think he's got Down's measure, but of course, so many things can happen throughout this race as they both have a little bit of air, two-wheel action through the chicane. That's good to see, but yeah, I'm still backing Brookman. He's got good pace and he's not letting Down get away from him. So this is going to sort of shape out in the next couple of laps when, of course, they start to think about pit stops.
Now, Brookman's car is looking like a quicker car at the moment, but I think this is going to come down to a battle of nerves whether Madison Down can maintain his composure and defend this big attack from Renz Brookman.
Oh, we're hearing there's been big carnage at turn 1.
That's McKnight who's off and into the wall. Maris involved in it as well.
Oh, we'll check out the race recall replay, but it's just starting to in the braking zone. It looks like Maris may have just pulled over the cross of James McKnight. McKnight hard into the wall, and of course Maris had big contact to the back of McKnight, so that could be night over for both those two. Yeah,
Maris, it looks like, had a cut track penalty, and then being so far down on speed, the rejoin, the closing race there just didn't work out. These cut tracks, I don't know if this is the best way to do it. I hope that the officials can come up with a better way to manage this situation, but for now this is the best that we've got, and we've got to deal with it. Yeah, I think it was just unfortunate. I think Maris just did move over a little bit. McKnight was on the racing line, and it's just one of those things, and a bit of a racing incident, so bad luck for both those guys, but hopefully they can still push on. Tell you what, it's hard to look away from this battle up front. Two-wheel action from Down in the Tats.com Falcon, really getting hustled back there from Renz Brookman. Renz does seem to make up a lot of time, but then lose a little bit through the chicane. Phil Sullivan's forward around, big pile up at the chicane.
Oh,
At least 4 or 5 cars involved.
Bo Cattell was unfortunate to come around the corner, and he collected Jared as well.
Oh, it looks like Jared Philsell got turned around by Ian Ford, and then there was 3 or 4 drivers that didn't have anywhere to go and got big damage running through there. It looks like Cattell, Kelly, Dean O'Brien involved too. Yeah, what a shame. Tricky part of the racetrack too when you go through that chicane when you got a car sideways through there, so bad luck for everyone involved. Just having a look at that battle up front. Looks like Renz just has given up a little bit of time on Down. Look at the time sheets. Down was a 37.0 and a 37.2 to Brookman last lap round, but that gap just slowly starting to open up. I don't know if Renz is just sort of taking it easy or what's going on. Yeah, I can't see him having a penalty or anything as such, but well, his car was looking good, so we could see him reel that one back in. We'll have to keep you posted as to how the gap progresses, but there's still so much activity happening all throughout the track that it's hard to keep in touch with it all.
Check out the back of Dean O'Brien's car, a little bit of damage there to the Osram Falcon. Of course, he's got the battle here for 8th place, and behind him, Sean Kelly, 9th, and Bo Patel rounding out your 10.
O'Brien's had a touch up front and rear, and you look behind that and see Sean Kelly. His car looks even worse at the moment. That was, of course, all fallout from the Ian Ford and Jared Philsell incident with the chicane. Now, Jared Filsell, who was running in the top 10 at the time before that contact, is driving very hard to try and make some spots up. Putting pressure on Chris Stone at the moment, but in situations like this where you need to keep your cool and just make sure you don't overdrive it. But good character building experience here for Filsell, who's getting used to running with these with the big boys here.
This battle between Chad Chastain and Lee Day, they still are closing a little bit on Muggo too. I would have thought maybe after Muggo's slowdown penalty that he'd probably pull away from these guys a little bit, but that's not really the case. They're really sticking with him. So this is certainly interesting for 5th, 4th, and 3rd.
They've got the pace. Chad Chastain's still right there in terms of lap time. He's not letting Muggleton get away, but Lee Day is doing the exact same thing as well.
I'll tell you what, that the gap up front is starting to close. We said that Brooklyn was starting to probably fall back a little bit on down, but yeah, it's definitely changed now. Madison 37.9 last time round compared to Brooklyn's 37.7, so tables have turned a little bit.
Yeah, when there's 32 laps in a race, 2/10 is a fairly sizable margin. We're currently on lap 10 of 32, and you can see that he already closes up to within just a couple of car lengths heading into the chicane.
Don't forget we're working lap 10 to our man in the pits, Reece Gardner, said, sort of speculated maybe around lap 12 that these guys were going to come in and start thinking about pit stops. So that's, of course, can be a big game changer too.
Part of me is wondering if perhaps that's Renz's strategy. If he thinks that he's got more outright pace than Madison Down has, he could... I was going to say he could be patient, sit back and try and make the position through the pits, but he's proven me wrong at the moment. He's putting big pressure on the back of Madison Down. Down going to have to run defensive down this long back straight. Brookman is so strong through that hairpin.
Look at the ground he makes up in this slipstream. He's having a look at it. Think about it. He's going to look towards the inside. Can he get the job done under brakes? Down really strong on brakes coming into the chicane.
It's a very, very tight line you have to run through that chicane if you're on the inside as Renz Brooklyn was, but what this is doing is just chipping away. It's at Madison Down. Going to try and find if there's a chink in the oven, but big sideways moment.
Hold on to it, Brookman. Jeez,
Wow,
he did a great job.
All he had to do was catch a bit of that curbing and he would have been gone in a big way.
Waiting for him to swap ends there. He really upset the rears there and would have put a bit of temperature through him, so he just needs to calm himself. He knows he's got good pace. He doesn't need to worry about down for the moment. Still a long way to go in this race, and of course pit stops.
Now as that's happened, Mocatel has pulled into the lane to make his stop, maybe going to try and pull a bit of fuel saving, but we'll check in with Reece in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets and see if there's any info there.
Well, I don't really have any info on Bo-Catel, guys, but I do have an info on Renz v Madison. TTR Spy Guy is back for this round, and he has told me that Madison and pretty much all of the TTR cars are dealing with slippery cars right now. Madison is having a lot of trouble with locking his front brakes, so I think your prediction that Renz might just be hanging back and waiting for Madison to make a mistake, that might be true, but we'll see when we get to the pit stops and see how they come out after that.
Thanks for that update, Reece. I'm sure we're going to get very busy in a couple of laps' time, but we'll touch base with you very soon.
Yeah, certainly.
Nice job there from Jared, getting the move done past Chris Stone underneath the bridge there.
And of course, we didn't see this happen, but a couple of positions ahead of that, Brad Ryan's managed to work his way up to 8th from 21st on the field. So, great drive by Brad Ryan at the moment.
Fairly chuffed with that. It's not a bad effort.
But in regards to pit stops, Muggleton, first of the front runners to blink. In from 3rd position, Ian Ford also in the lane. Lee Ellis making a pit stop as well.
Interesting to see some of these times with these guys, whether they take tyres and fuel or it's just a splash of fuel. Be interesting to see how long they're stationary in pit lane. But like you said, first of the front runners, Josh Muggleton in the Tats.com Falcon, first to blink. He's in pit lane. Be interesting to see how this all starts to shape up.
It is a very, very long pit lane here. Muggleton completing his stop in 18.8 seconds. So we're going to have to compare that to all of the others and see how it all plays out.
Puts him back in 16th position on the track, and of course this is all going to change when everyone starts doing their pit stops.
Hearing that Chad Chastain, who is running a very strong 5th position, may have had a cut track penalty because he's lost a big margin back to the lead aid.
Actually, he doesn't get off the pit lane. It looks like Brookman looks down this race.
So Brookman's going to stay in and particularly the race stay on for pits.
They're all in pit. Chris has decided on cameras in as well. So, guys, it's well, these guys are really starting to make it up on this race. Get that pit stop over and done with, and then they can get on with the battles. Josh Buckleton on the screen now, coming on the start-finish line. Let's see where he comes out. Of course, he was behind that battle with Madison Town. Looks like Madison's going to come out. Oh, it's going to be side by side. Oh, Madison Town will get. He'll come out behind Josh Buckleton. So a big game for Buckleton in the pits.
That was a big move there for Muggleton to come out effectively in the lead of the motor race. How did he do that? Muggleton's pit stop was about a second and a half quicker than Madison Downs was, but he must have had a great outlap as well to make up that sort of ground. The what we're going to keep an eye on now, of course, is Rens Brookman.
I wouldn't imagine it'll be too much longer. I would imagine he'd come in this time by. He doesn't want to stay out there too long, and sure enough, darts straight in pit lane. Make sure he hits the speed limiter and gets in nice and clean. So now it's Brookman's turn. Will he come out in front or behind the Tats.com cars?
And speaking of the Tats cars, Muggleton's made a bit of a gap on Madison Down. He's got Michael Schrader to get past, who does move aside now with the hairpin. But they're going to make the run down towards the final chicane, pit entry. And that leaves Brookman exiting his, well, just getting into his pits now. Lee Day also in. Marlon McMullen going to assume the lead of the race, but still the pit, of course.
So the Tats cars are coming onto the front straight now. They've come out of the final turn. Brookman's still stationary in the pit lane. The guys are coming across the start-finish line. Of course, Brookman will have a nice straight run into the first turn. It's going to be a bit of a drag race.
Brookman with a very, very fast stop. Quick stop, these front three. And he's going to maintain the lead of the race.
Oh, and Muggleton got sideways. Down and in there side by side. The Tats cars are going to go at it. Looks like Muggleton will lose position to Madison Down.
Down did a great job to capitalise, and Muggleton was straight back on it. Muggleton with a cut track penalty, having to slow down.
That's his second one of the night, so that's cost him big time.
So Muggleton looked like he was in for a, well, stealing a bit of a result from his teammate, has now had all that hard work undone as he drops back a big margin.
We're hearing reports that Sean Kelly is back in pit lane, so all sorts of dramas there for the Hyper Simulator TTR Falcon.
And after all of this is shaken out, what it leaves us with is Rens Brookman with a 1.7 lead over Madison Down. That's the effective first and second in the race. Still just a handful of drivers to complete a pit stop. Marlon McMullen in the lane as we speak. Cerny in the pits, Wayne Burke in the pits. Bill Sell, the only remaining driver to complete a pit stop.
Well, how good's this working out for Brookman? He'd be fairly happy. He knows he's got decent car pace, but to jump both Cat's cars in the pits, he did a sensational job. He was already in front of Muggleton, but that battle with him and Down, he knew he had to get past Down, and he did not only get past him, he's opened up a bit of margin, so really working in Brookman's favour at the moment.
Yeah, I think that traffic helped him. A smart, clean outlap definitely helped him too. Be one of the Altitude Bright Volvo cars, just neatly stepping aside. Then Lilac making room for Renz Brookman, race leader.
And he's doing the same for Madison Down too, so that's a nice bit of sportsmanship there for Sanjin. Well done, mate.
So where this leaves us, lap 15 to 32, nearly at the halfway point of this race, is Renz Brookman continuing on this strong run of form that he's had in the past couple of weeks, and really making a statement for 2014, it seems.
Yeah, he's never been short of pace. He's a real talent in these cars, and like I said, the last couple of weeks is really showing that. He was probably a little bit devastated to miss out on pole position last week. Down, snatched it off him in the dying seconds, but he definitely stamped his mark on tonight. He punched out a brilliant time, actually went quicker in final qualifying, and of course now he leads this race. So strong performance from Renz Brookman.
That's it, and Jared Filsell into the pits. So once he completes his pit stop, the field will be cleansed and we'll have a clean running order for you. But it's looking like our podium, Renz Brookman, Madison Down and Josh Muggleton. But pushing on from there, Lee Day in 4th position over Chad Chastain. Marlon McMullen sitting in 6th, Ian Ford 7th, unfortunately had that contact at the chicane. And then we'll have to see where Jared comes out, but it looks like Bo Cattell 8th, Dean O'Brien perhaps coming across in 9th, and Brad Ryan 10th.
Jared's just leaving the pit lane now, so I'll be interested to see how he feeds out into this field now. Looks like he's just behind Brad Ryan and just in front of Chris Stone there. So Chris is in 12th, that'll put Jared in 11th, and Brad Ryan in 10th.
That's a pretty tidy recovery from ending up facing the wrong way at Champions Wall with a number of cars piling into you.
How costly are these cut tracks? The slowdown penalty from Muggleton. It was Muggleton and Down after the pit stops, after those guys had come out of pit lane. They were side by side, and now Muggleton finds himself 5 seconds behind Madison Down.
Yeah, you would like to think that there's something that can be done about this, but as we said before, it is what it is. The drivers all play to the same rules, but perhaps it'd be good to have the heads sit down and work out if there's a better way we can manage the situation, because you do have to keep drivers on the racetrack. But still never fun to see them just sitting there waiting to have a black flag cleared.
No, that's right. But like you said, it's the same for everyone. Everyone knew. They've done enough laps through the week. They know what chances they need to take and what they can and can't get away with. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but it's the same for everyone through the field.
Now, Dean O'Brien looked very, very out of shape. That car doesn't look tidy and it's not driving tidy either. Brad Ryan capitalises up into 9.
He did a really good job of keeping that off the inside wall pit lane there, because it looked like he was going to make hard contact, but managed to keep it straight. The car's looking a little bit worse for wear, but now he just needs to knuckle down and concentrate on the back of Brad Ryan.
See on the race recall replay, can't get much more sideways than that without it ending in tears. Now, even though Philsell found himself not looking like he was in a good spot, these fresh tyres that he's got on look like they're doing him good, because he's ranging onto the back of this fight.
Yeah, his pace looks pretty good in the V8 Supercar Fan Group Falcon. He'd be happy with that, and it's always makes it a little bit easier when you can see the two guys in front of you when you start getting a little bit bigger in the front windscreen, and he knows he's pulling him in. So yeah, I think in the next couple of laps, the pace that he's got, he should be able to swallow it up. As Brad Ryan's had a little bit of a moment, looks like, no, not quite. Looks like I thought he was going to lose position there to Dean O'Brien, but he managed to get on with it.
The hairpin kind of has that effect. There's a number of different ways you can get around that corner, and course, with the way these cars handle these slow things, they never look quite comfortable. Now, Sanjin and the Altitude Brighton Volvo Falcon back in the pits could be having some issues, we think. Have to keep you updated if we find any news about that.
Tell you what, I think everything's starting to fall in Brookman's hands. He's got good pace on board, and now that margin back to Madison Down is just a fraction over 2 seconds now. So looking quite comfortable in the Falcon there for Renz Brookman, and yeah, he's just hitting his marks, and always pleasing when that gap starts to open up.
I've been watching his lap times, and they've been quite consistent. So just keeping a cool head and doing everything he needs to do right now. We have a look and see that, of course, Renz, our leader, was the pole sitter. He's not had any change of position, even though he's been back and forth through the field a couple of times. Big winner through the race, we touched on it. Brad Ryan up 12 places into 9th from starting 21st and last in the field. And George Maris, who had that brilliant qualifying run, unfortunately didn't have a great start to the race, and he is currently out of the race in 19th position.
Tell you what, how good is it when you see these cars bouncing through the curves? It can be a little bit nerve-wracking when you're trying to race a couple of guys around you and you're trying to get through those chicanes as quick as you can, but a bit of two-wheeled action looks the part.
It does look good, but it is also the quick way around this place, so you need to be able to find that balance, and these guys are pretty good at it, but get it a little bit wrong, you'll be in the wall in a hurry.
The man on screen, Marlon McMullen, doing a pretty good job. He's in 6th place at the moment, started back in 10th, so he's definitely made his way forward. He's obviously been pretty quick this season. He's had his fair share of luck, and of course playing the V8 Americas title for this season, so he'd be fairly happy with himself, and always happy when you start to make your gains forward, and that Daco Falcon is looking good.
Yeah, he's looking like he's in position for a very strong result this race, currently sitting in 6th. His best finish in the Monday night broadcast race is a 4th place at VIR back in season 2 2013. But 6th place, I think he'd be very happy with that one. Got to make it to the finish, of course.
So the battle on screen now for 9th, 10th, 11th, Brad Ryan, Dean O'Brien and Jared Filsell. These guys been tussling. I thought Jared would have made light work of these two. He really did start to pull them in, but seems to be holding station at the moment between these two.
And on that same token, Brad Ryan hasn't managed to get away from Dean O'Brien. Now whilst we're on that, it looks like they're getting closer and closer to Bocatel, who's just a couple of seconds up the road. Just a little bit behind that, Chris Stone and Tobias Cerny. These guys locked in a battle for 12th and 13th. Chris Stone driving the EasyWorks car, Tobias Cerny in the Powerbond Daco Falcon. And now that everything's cycled through, we'll head back to Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, just looking at Bocatel right now. I've been hearing from other pit garages up and down the pit lane that he might be fuel saving after his pit stop, so that might explain how the 3 cars behind him are catching up so quickly. Also, he seems to have quite a bit of damage on the front of his car.
I do recall he was the first one to pit, about a lap earlier than all the others, I think, Reese.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that will explain his slower pace. He must definitely be fuel saving then.
Thanks for that update. Let us know if you hear of any other interesting gossip or useful info out there.
Yeah, certainly will. It's been very quiet in the pits this race, but I'll see if I can get what I can.
Thank you, mate. We'll head back to the action out here. Renz Brookman has been extending his lead over Madison Down, still sitting in 2nd place. Josh Muggleton also finding himself in a pretty quiet third. Now this is of course Josh Muggleton's 100, start number 100 in the V8's online broadcast races, so congratulations to Muggo there as he gets a little bit sideways in that chicane. He must be turning it up for us at the moment. He knows we're talking about him.
His ears are burning.
No, great work. Start number 100 for the reigning champ, and strong as ever.
Tell you what, we touched a little bit. He said that margin with Brookman and it's opened up. It's 2.6 seconds now, so Brookman find himself just over half a second gap since we last spoke about him. So fairly comfortable. His times are pretty good. The last time round was 36.9 for Brookman, down to 37.3. So a good couple of tenths up his sleeve last time round.
His lap time since that pit stop, they have been super consistent. I just keep seeing 36.9s, one after the other, and doesn't look like he's losing any pace either. You see everyone else is down in the 37s. Brookman actually the only man in the 36s right now.
And he's got what every race car driver loves, is clean air too. So he's got no one harassing the back of him. He's got nice clear air in front of him. So all he needs to do is concentrate on hitting on his marks, and the rest will sort of unfold itself.
That's right, consistency is key here. Once you get that clean track, just focus on driving your race, and that's exactly what Rens is doing. Now, someone who doesn't have the luxury of clean air at the moment is Bo Cattell, getting his ears boxed in by that fight that we were mentioning. Brad Ryan's made his way through. Jared Filsell is the next one in line, and they've actually dropped Dean O'Brien off the back of this pack, but Bo Cattell in the middle of an angry fight right now. And we'll check back with Reese Gardner in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I just got a bit of context for the Filsell-Cattell-Ryan battle. I just had a little bit of a chat with Clayton Brooks, who is the leader over at ANZ, who manages Mr. Filsell in his V8 Supercar Vanguard Falcon, and apparently he's got quite a bit of damage from earlier in the race when he and Ford turned him around. So that would explain how he was struggling to get past Dean O'Brien, but it looks like he's overcome it a little bit as Cattell gets a little bit hairy. I think Filsell might pull a move here.
He's got a big run, they're side by side to get into the braking zone, but on the wrong side of the track, if Cattell is fuel saving, he might just tuck in behind, which he does.
Certainly. Well, it looks like Jared Filsell is making good now, and we'll see where he ends up.
Thanks, Reese. We'll might talk to you later in the race.
Yep.
We are, of course, now at 10 laps to go. Brookman still leads from Down and Muggleton. Lee Day 4th, Chad Chastain 5th, Mullany and Ford, Brad Ryan, Jared Filsell and Bo Cattell running at the top 10 in this fight that we were watching. Dean O'Brien, the next one in line to take a shot.
Yeah, because Jared having a great race there, but Bo's, he's got his work cut out for him. It's one of those tough things where you try and save fuel and try to go fast at the same time, but when the guys all around you are wringing its neck and not having to worry about save fuel, that sort of makes the job a little bit easier for him. But he's doing a good job. He's got a little bit of damage to that Falcon, but he's hanging in there.
It's not a pretty looking car, but a little bit beyond that, of course, Chris Stone and Tobias Cerny, these guys still at it. We saw them a little while ago. And this battle doesn't look like it's anywhere close to being resolved. Tobias's car looks just maybe a little bit tidier than Stone's, but it's very hard to make a pass here unless you've got absolute speed over the other driver. Of course, this place is super tight, and a lot of the corners with the chicane nature, you do have to be right up alongside to make a confident pass.
It's good to see he's actually continued on. He had obviously made heavy contact at the start of the race, so started in 7th place and now finds himself back in 13th. So it's good to see he's keeping on going.
Now the fight for 8th is heating up. Look at Jared Filsell putting big pressure on Brad Ryan. He left it till the very last minute to pull out of the slipstream. Stupid deep under brakes into the chicanes. Brad Ryan going to try and have a look back on him. but Phil Sell gets the move done.
Nice stuff. That was great.
Yeah, very commanding overtake there by Jared Philsell. Moves himself up into 8th place. And with the pace he's been carrying, it looks like he's going to continue on from there, try and run away from this little battle group.
Quickly run through the current order at the moment. Our race leader, Renz Brooklyn, in first place over Madison Down in second. Josh Muggleton in third, so Supercars second and third. In fourth place, Lee Day. In fifth, Chad Chastain. Sixth place, Marlon McMullen. Seventh is Ian Ford, who we just touched on with Jared Fissell in eighth. In ninth, Brad Ryan, and Bo Cattell in 10th.
Now, Bo Cattell's 10th place certainly isn't secure at this point, because Dean O'Brien is just chipping away at the back, 10th or 2 here and there. Chris Stone, 12th. Tobias Cerny, 13th, of course, wants that position. Michael Schreier, 14th, and the last driver on the lead lap. And then Wayne Burke and Sandy Delilah, the last drivers running. But a couple of laps down for both of those, unfortunately. Sad stories for the night, though, of course. Sean Kelly, Lee Ellis, James McKnight, George Maris, and Sam Collins have all dropped out of the race for various reasons.
Yeah, tough for George too. George Maris did a great job. Started in P5 and unfortunately night over for him.
Madison Down has had a big moment whilst we're running through that, and looks like he's got a bit of damage to the right front of that car. His last lap time was 1 minute 40, so he's had a bit of trouble somewhere along the way, and the car's looking a little bit worse for wear for it.
Yeah, and that margin now 6.5 seconds to Brookman now. So yeah, I think he's just thinking about bringing it home now. He knows he's pretty much got the title wrapped up, and it's a pretty special night for him to go for his 8th V8 Supercar Championship.
Yeah, that's it. To go for the win is just a final shot at glory for the night, but ultimately, throughout the course of the 12-week season, it is Madison Down who looks like he's going to come out on top, and that'll be title number 8 for the driver of Tat's car, TTR Balkan.
Take nothing away from Brookman. He's definitely been the man of the last couple of weeks. He said he almost had pole position last week. He definitely had it this week. He stamped his authority on this race, and now he's just pulling away from the rest of the field. He's had a strong car all week, and he's really showing that tonight.
Back it up from the win last week at VIR to come through and get pole position, and putting in a dominating performance in this race. Only the start was the only time that he wasn't in front. Really shows how important momentum is, and hopefully he can carry this strong form into the next season. And if he can make that happen from the start, he could be a real threat for the title next year. I want to talk about next year. It's just a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, next season, we know what you mean. But yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with each and every week. And yeah, bring on next season. We wipe the slate clean, and everyone starts afresh. And so many drivers have either missed races or had a bit of bad luck. But there's so many people that can take this championship next season to Madison Down. It's going to be an absolute hurler when it gets cracking.
And whilst all that's been happening, we'll see if Reese Gardner in the pits has got any extra info for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to stir the silly season rumour mill a little bit for next season. Got a little bit of information concerning a top driver. I've been talking to a certain team boss, and said top driver might be switching to ANZ for next season. So we'll see what happens there. Not going to reveal anything as of the present time, but I understand that we might be making mention of it on Short Shift at some point.
Yes, the newest episode of Short Shift is about to come out in the next couple of days, and yeah, there's actually 2 little exclusives there. A couple of things, a bit of juicy goss, and yeah, I know the driver mill and the rumours are shooting around the joint, but we love silly season, so tune into Short Shift and you may just be able to work it out for yourself.
very hot piece of info there, Reese, and it could spell big excitement come the start of next season if we see big names moving to ANZ, just strengthening that team even further. It'd be great to see what comes of it.
Yeah, certainly. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this turns out. So, very interesting for next season.
Now we'll cross back to the action because Brad Ryan is not letting Jared Filsell get away. Looked like Filsell had the pace and the rubber underneath him, but Brad Ryan is looking hungry as we speak and only 4/10 left in it.
Good drive from the TTL Falcon. Started dead last, 21st place, and to be in 9th and Harrison at the back of Jared for 8th, it's a strong run from Brad.
Both these cars looking pretty worn on their rubber at the moment. You see just squirming ever so slightly out of the corners, pushing really hard into these braking zones. A lot of movement heading into this tight hairpin. Brad Ryan's actually looking pretty good at the moment, I think.
Yeah, if he can get a decent run out of that hairpin and carry that pace down that straight, tuck up underneath, get a little couple of extra kilometres up under his belt with the draft. We've seen a couple of moves or attempts in this last chicane, so he's definitely got the pace on board. Jared hasn't been able to pull away from him, so who knows? The next couple of laps we could see something unfold, but he looks like he's got some pace here.
Run side by side into the turn 1 complex. That's an awkward piece of road to be. Ryan's
got it.
Not over yet though, because it's this tight right-hander. Brad Ryan's going to force the issue if he can, but Filsell going to hold on.
Amazing couple of turns there. It looked like if he was on the right part of the racetrack, but then of course it switched around the other way and put him on the outside. So he had to tuck back behind Jared, but a good little battle between him and Brad Ryan.
Yeah, you get the feeling that this one's going to go on for a fair while. Still 5 laps to go in the race, and I don't think Jared's going to let this one go easy, but Brad Ryan is looking very, very hungry at the moment. Like he's got a good run out of that corner, but making the pass down here is going to be tough. He's going to try and set him up for the chicane now, I think. Now, even though Jared's car looked quite good earlier, I think that might have been down to tyres, because looks like he's still carrying a little bit of damage. Just doesn't look quite that tight. He might be a slight bit of crabbing on, but Ryan definitely looks a lot pacier right now.
Yeah, Brad's just a little bit too far back to make the move at this time. You could see he was just trying to straighten the car up out of that hairpin to see if he could carry that pace, but just that gap. He's made a big margin through that chicane though, but not quite close enough at this point.
Now they're going to have 4 laps to go. Ryan only a car length behind Filsell at the moment, but of course catching's one thing, making the pass is another. But we've seen that Ryan's got plenty of aggression in him. He's got plenty of aggression in the right foot as he lights the rears out of turn 2 there.
Tell you what, just having a quick look at the timesheets while everything else is going on, that the gap between Brookman and Down is almost 10 seconds now. So Ren's not mucking about, but looks like Madison's just slowly starting to fall into the grips of his teammate and Josh Muggleton.
Yeah, Brookman's laps have been super consistent, but I think Muggleton must have a bit of damage or something, because he's had a couple of quite slow laps in there and has allowed Muggo to close up to within 2 seconds of his teammate. Looks like Madison not entirely comfortable through the chicane, got very close to Champion's Wall once again, and Muggleton is definitely running a little bit quicker than his teammate, but only 3 laps left in the race. Definitely try and follow that one to the end.
Yeah, 37.8 last time round for Down, and last time for Muggleton, 37.5.
Oh, looking back at this fight with Ryan and Filsell though. Look at it bounce over that. Ryan gets the wall in a big way. And
he's got a slow down penalty too. He's cut too much track there. He's having to give up the place to
Is that O'Brien that got in front of him? Dean O'Brien. So he's lost a big margin.
It's not so much the horse. I'm about to say it's not so much the cut track that I think was the big bit there. I think he's going to have a bit of damage on that right front. He's not looking good at the moment.
Yeah, unsettled the car. Massive damage to the outside there, but it's a shame because it was a good battle shaping up between him and Jared for 8th place. So he's got his work cut out for him with only a couple laps to go now, though.
That might do is if his car's running wounded Bo Cattell. I think we might be having a little bit of case of commentators curse tonight. I was about to say Bo Cattell could be ranging in there, and then he lights it up big time and loses a lot of ground on Ryan. Driver in 6th place, Marlon McMullen for Powerbond Daco. He could be under threat from Ian Ford in a... Well, there is only 2 laps left in the race, but only a second and a half separating these 2 drivers, so Marlon can't afford a cut track or any sort of big moment.
Nah, cut track could kill him at the moment because once you give up all that time, like you said, 2 laps to go in this race, there's no time left to make it up. So both these guys need to be clean, hit their marks, and not worrying about making too much of a risky move towards the end of this race.
You can see it in the way these cars are behaving on the track that this is the point in the race where the tyres are just screaming out for mercy. Cars are sliding about everywhere. They've been on them for a long time, and it looks like it's hard work out there for these drivers. Renz Brookman heading down towards the chicane for the second to last time. Navigate this sequence of corners, and he's going to now take the white flag to signal the start of the final lap of 32 from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's been a fantastic drive from the Dynamic Sim Sport driver. Hasn't put a foot wrong all race, and he's looking like he's on his way to a commanding victory.
Yeah, he's definitely been the man of the last couple of weeks. Tipped him to win last week. He did the job. I've tipped him to win this week, and half a lap away. I don't want to put the Mozza on him yet, but he's looking good. He really punched out a great time in qualifying to stamp his authority and grab pole position, and he's been so strong, and now that margin back to down 9.7 seconds. He's really been the one to beat tonight.
Yeah, down his pace has fallen off towards the end of the race. You can see that Muggo is closing up quite dramatically at the moment. Not sure if he'll really trouble him for second on the podium at this point, but still goes to show just how strong the drive from Brookman was, because he has been on it all night long, and it's going to be a very deserving win. Renz Brookman coming out of the hairpin for the final time, heading down this long back straight. He knows that he's got the checkered flag within grasp. Just this final chicane to navigate, and heading into the braking zone, we'll see him cross these final 2 turns. Easy over the curves he is, keeps it nice and tidy. Renz Brookman, he's done it last week at Virginia, sat on pole tonight, and he takes the checkered flag and the win in Montreal. 2 wins on the trot. Can't do much better than that.
Great drive from Brookman, but it's history in the making too. Back there for second place. Madison Down crosses the line, and he'll claim his 8th iRacing V8 Supercar Series Championship.
Margot back on the podium. Lee Day 4th. Chad Chastain now going to cross the line. 5th position. Beautiful showing by the Can-Am America driver. Marlon McMullen getting a bit excited over the finish line, it looks. And Ian Ford crosses for 7th. Jared Filsell, who withstood mammoth pressure from Brad Ryan. Great drive to come home in 8th. Dean O'Brien is going to lose a position at the line to Brad Ryan.
Brad pipped him on the line. Oh, I wonder if Dean O'Brien just ran out of fuel.
Oh, I'm guessing you will. That was a cheeky move if you ever seen one from Brad Ryan. He's going to be grinning like you've never seen. But where that leaves us, of course, winner after 32 laps at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Rens Brookman from the pole.
Yeah, he did a great job. He was unstoppable tonight. He didn't get the best of starts. He had both Tats cars in front of him, but he just played his cards right. He had a fantastic pit stop, of course, got him in front of Down, and mate, once he had the lead, that was it. He just took off and ended up winning by over 10 seconds. So brilliant drive from Rens Brookman.
Yeah, momentum, I think, plays a very strong role in this, and it's great to see him back in the winner's circle after that long drought. To back it up 2 weeks in a row, may have opened the floodgates here. Who knows what we'll see at the beginning of next season.
Yeah, I think he'd be spewing that there's actually, we're taking a week off for Race of Champions because, the way his pace and form has been, no doubt he's really eyeing off next season to be a strong contender. So the pace that he's got on board, he can carry that momentum, look out for next season.
But bring up the race results now and we'll see Rens Brookman, the winner for Dynamic Sim Sport from the pole position, leading 20 laps tonight and a 10-second margin back to Madison Down in second place. Gap back to his teammate though did close up towards the end, and then Lee Day fourth, Chad Chastain very strong fifth position, Marlon McMullen nearly equalled his best result there in sixth place, Ian Ford, Jared Filsell had a great recovery to end up back in 8th place, but that was where he started, Brad Ryan up into 9th from 21st on the grid, and Dean O'Brien just got pipped at the line there.
Check out the rest of the running order for the final round of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. Bo Cattell will come home in 11th place, Chris Stone in 12th, Tobias Azerni in 13th, Michael Schreier in 14th, Wayne Burke in 15th, Sanjan Dalalik in 16th, Sean Kelly in 17th, Lee Ellis in 18th, in 19th it was James McKnight, 20th place George Maris, and rounding out the field in 21st place Samuel Collins.
Yeah, it was a strong field, but by far and above strongest drive of the night. The win goes to Rens Brookman. Rens, you've done it again 2 weeks in a row. How do you feel right now, my friend?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the result. But not my best start, so had to make up a few positions. But no, it was a really enjoyable race, and I think I was a little bit lucky with Madison and Muggleton getting slowdowns.
Yeah, the start was probably the only thing that you could look at and go, gee, that could have been a bit better, but they can't have them all be easy as you want their Rens, but beautiful drive from yourself. I don't think you put a foot wrong all race, where others were falling off left, right and centre. You kept your head clean and ran strong to the end. So how does this bode for next season?
Well, I hope I can continue this form, to be honest. But it's always hard in this series, and I'm sure all the other teams are going to be up there again as well. So, yeah.
And speaking of that, mate, you'd be actually spewing. We've got a week off now because if you carry that momentum, the last 2 weeks have been sensational for you.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're going to change anything in this build, but if not, I hope I can continue this form. So yeah, I look forward to it.
All the best, mate. And as we have a look around the commentary box, history in the making tonight, and it gives me great pleasure to congratulate Madison Down on his 8th iRacing V8 Supercar Championship win. And second place tonight, mate. You were certainly in the thick of it all night.
Yeah, how good's that? It's got a nice ring to it. 8 championships, can't complain. It's been another great year for me. I think it's 3 this year as well. So yeah, couldn't be any happier than that. And what a race to finish it off. Awesome battle with Rens there in the early stints of the race, and unfortunately I just didn't quite have the pace to go with him tonight. So really good drive, Rens. Just pace was too strong.
And it's been pretty much a sign of all season. It's the Tats cars battling it out for position. You guys battling out for first, second, third there for most of the night. But another podium result for you guys. So a good result all round.
Yeah, for sure. We're second and third for the Tats.com cars, and good way to finish off the season. And at least we had good pace once again, so that's confidence inspiring heading into the first championship of 2014. But yeah, massive thanks again to all our sponsors all season long: Tats.com, Hyper Stimulator, and Sim Instruments. They've been to us for a really long period of time now, so it's great to get another championship for those guys. And yeah, just gotta, I suppose, keep finishing on the podium, and hopefully we can get a few more championships.
Now we will also now have a chat to Madison Down's teammate, of course, reigning champion, who's now handing the crown back over to Madison Down, Josh Muggleton. Mate, back on the podium. You've had a very exciting season, with all those wins and, of course, everything happening in the real world. But great to see you back on the podium with us.
Yeah, cheers. Won't lie, I'm pretty disappointed with that race. Just silly mistakes and inconsistent slowdowns, which were quite annoying. But yeah, well done to Renz and Madison. Renz for the race, he was super quick. Madison for the championship, obviously. Just looking at the points now, I'm a week down and I think about 220 points off first. So if I had that extra week, I think it would have been a different story. So hopefully we'll transfer that into next season and put the effort back in and get that #1 spot back.
Great to hear that sort of confidence heading into next season, Muggo, because you were very strong all the times that we saw you. 4 wins on the trot was such a blistering way to start the season. And what do you think? Can you do it next season again?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just got to. I'm going to have the time again next season, so just got to keep putting the hard work in, and hopefully the results will come again. So yeah, no, pretty confident going into next season. Just got to hurry up now and wait for it to come.
Just have a look around the commentary box. Man who had a pretty good night tonight, started 10th, brought it home in 6th. Marlon McMullen from Powerbond Racing. How you going, mate?
Good, mate. How you going, sir, man?
Good, buddy. Nice little battle for you. Working your way up through the field. Nice effort.
Yeah, it definitely was a race to remember. One of the good ones to remember. So, we had a pretty. I didn't really have the best start. Lee Ellis had a rocket of a start. It was like he had traction control or something. So I want to have a little bit of investigation after that one. Nah, that was a good start. But anyway, and yeah, jumped me, and then there was a little bit of a muddle on the first lap, and it was hella scary, I got to admit. Just cars going left, right, and we got through the thick of it, and unfortunately Tobias didn't get out of it, and he did his best to avoid me, but he just nicked the rear of my bumper. But I felt a bit, it just fortunately went off in the end and had to make his way back through. So it was a bit unlucky for Tobias, but otherwise than that, we pushed on, and I flew the flag for Powerbond, and had an awesome battle with Jared. And not sure what exactly happened to Jared. I want to go back and have a look at that one, but yeah, pitted and then just pretty much focused on the best laps I could do towards the end, and yeah, had an awesome battle with Ian and a little bit of fuel issues.
You looked fairly comfortable though, mate, on the whole, and obviously your finishing results show that. So looked like you were fairly happy to race for this round for the final round.
Yeah, the car's been good the last couple of rounds. I mean, as I said a couple of weeks ago, the setup hasn't dramatically changed. It's still the same. But, lately I've been trying to work on my racing a little bit more and trying to punch out more cleaner laps. And, tonight was a good pressure battle with Ian. And every lap I had with him, I just took a big deep breath and did it all over again.
All right, cheers, mate. Thanks for talking to us, and all the best for next season.
Thank you, Sam, man. See you guys next season.
And, of course, the other part of that battle just mentioned is Ian Ford, who managed to bring it home in 7th. Ian, congratulations on another top 10. Sounds like it was an exciting race out there.
Thank you. It was definitely a fantastic race. Just pushing hard all race long, and the last 2 laps I could take it easy because I made a mistake, and that was it.
Well, 7th place. It's great to see you back in the top 10 again, and it seems like, once again, we talk about momentum. It seems like there's been a lot of that for yourself and your team. And end of the season, going to carry this form on to the next one, we hope?
Oh, that's the plan. Should be running in the top 10 every week next season, hopefully, if we get everything right. And we'll work on that throughout the off-season.
That's the way, mate. Just looking at your results there, you can see that the top 10s have been coming. And if they can get more and more frequent, which it looks like they are, you've got to be happy with that.
Oh, definitely. It's always hard to be challenging in the top 10 every week in the top split, and it's a great bunch of guys to race against every week.
Well, with that, Ian, we'll wish you all the best for your preps for next season, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, and also thank you to Packaging and More for sponsoring me for the last few seasons.
Also joining us in the commentary box, a man who's had a pretty good season 4, Jared Filsell, and no doubt you'd be looking forward to next season. Tonight started 8th and brought it home in 8th.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I was hoping to be up there with Marlon and Ian, but unfortunately Ian turned me around, so I was in a bit of race recovery towards the end there. Car was a bit bent, but still drivable. Good battle with Brad Ryan and Dean in the last few laps to get back up to 8th. Pretty happy about that though, after getting turned around.
It was a big moment in that chicane. I think you were lucky not to get collected by a lot more other cars. But considering that moment, mate, it was a nice bounce back.
Yeah, I actually did get a few 0 times contacts with it. That's probably what it's bent the rear out a little bit, which made my steering pretty wonky.
Well, if you look on the season as a whole, mate, I think you should be fairly proud of what you've achieved this season, and no doubt you'll be looking forward to get next season underway.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait. Should be good starting fresh and being in the top split.
All right, mate, enjoy the break, and we'll see you for next season. We look forward to seeing you round 1.
Cheers, you two guys.
And driver who managed to bring it home in 10th position, Dean O'Brien, was just barely pipped at the line. That must have been a bit of a fright for you there, Dean, but still congrats on a very strong top 10.
Yeah, cheers. I didn't quite qualify where I wanted to and where I had the pace to, and it just sort of put me behind the 8 ball on the dot go, so I underfueled a little bit to make a few more spots in the pits, which ended up costing me a 9th place in the end, but doesn't matter. I've had a pretty solid season all year, so all this season it's been pretty good at the start, at least anyway, with a few top 10s and that, but it sort of eased off near the end of the season, but still able to come through with a 7th place overall in the championship, which is a place better than last year, so pretty stoked with that.
Yeah, I was going to say a very strong showing this season for yourself in the Osram car. You also came away with the win at Laguna Seca during the Christmas break that we had there, so congrats for that. And what do you think the chances of regaining that form that you spoke about from the start of the season, carrying on into the next one?
Yeah, hoping to do a little bit more testing, and so making my setup last a little bit longer and stuff like that. Just working on it for next season. Hopefully, we'll be able to run in that sort of top 5, top 7 as we were at the start of the season.
Well, congrats on the 7th place overall, Dean. You enjoy the week off and Race of Champions if you're getting involved in that. But we will see you next season.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for all the broadcast too. It's been good.
Cheers, Dean. And let's see, we've got Cattell who slipped into the commentary box. Bo, mate. Let's see. Started 12th, finished 11th, and unlucky to come around and get caught up in that incident with Jared in the chicane there.
Yeah, a bit disappointed. The Constantina effect really affected the car, not steering-wise, but power-wise down the straight, so it was a fair bit down on power, and especially disappointed because I had a bit of a risky strategy coming in early, and would have really got up there, I reckon, if I had the power. But that's what happens. And other than that, good clean race. So good fun.
Well, new season's almost upon us, mate. You've had a good season 4. No doubt you'll be looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to get up the front, stay up the front, and just progress from here, so I can't complain. It's been a pretty strong season, and hopefully it gets better from here.
All the best next season, mate. And of course, for everyone out there, don't forget to tune into the latest episode of Short Shift, where we actually caught up with Bo Cattell out at the grid at Melbourne Stockland. So make sure you catch up with that. That should be out in the next couple of days. So we appreciate you taking some time out, Bo, to catch up with us too. That was good fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. No worries, guys.
And also here in the box, we've got the second Powerbond car of Tobias Zerny. Tobias, you had a great qualifying run to start off in 7th place, but unfortunately things didn't go to plan at the beginning.
Yeah, hello Leo and hello Sandman. Yeah, qualifying was strong again this season. I started 7th, similar to last season. But it looks like Montreal is not a good place for me. That was quite okay, but I was on the wrong line for the second turn, so I was on the outside. Saw some drummers in front, slightly touched the brakes, so guys some space, and then I got a big tap from behind and did everything I could to avoid Marlon and also to avoid the tire barriers and everything there, and kept the slowdown when I rejoined the track. Slightly contact with James McKnight, which sent me off in the barrier again, and at the end of the, or basically after half the first lap, I was dead last and tried to recover with the bent car.
Yeah, it looked pretty hairy out there, but you did a great job to recover back up into 13th. It's been good to see some strong results from you this season. Of course, your first season with the Powerbond team. How do you think it's gone overall this season for you, Tobias?
Yeah, overall, I think I made more points than last season. Somehow, I think I scored the same position again, scoring 15th overall. It's definitely something, a new experience for me, something new. Have a teammate in a race together to chat with. Unfortunately, things go sometimes a little bit wrong for me in the main race, but I got a few good points in the Euro race, which we got to run lately, and also in the beginning of the season, it was the Sunday race. So I'm looking forward to next season and want to thank all my Powerbond teammates. It was a great season and a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to next season and hope that Marlon and I, we both can make it into the top 15 or top 10 maybe.
Yeah, looking forward to it here as well, mate. So thanks for dropping in and best of luck to the new season.
Thank you.
Now, man, that we don't actually get a chance to talk to a lot. Chad Chastain, somewhat of a home race for you. It's good to talk to you here at V8 Online.
Hey, Sam, man, thanks for having me.
Mate, not a bad race for you, consistently up there in the top 5. And, mate, your pace towards the end of the season has been pretty good.
Yeah, I feel really good about it. A shout out to iSpeed. A little bit of telemetry watching has really done wonders. Yeah, I couldn't be happier with my pace, as the season went on, and really looking forward to next season.
And of course, one thing that's new to the 2014 lineup here for V8's Online is the V8 Americas broadcast. So that's a little bit friendlier for you as far as time zone wise.
Yeah, you got that right. I set my alarm to get up for these, but man, I would not miss these. These are just great times, great race. Congratulations to Madison. My God, man, 8 championships. That's amazing. And Renz, his last couple of weeks have been amazing. His pace is absurd.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Chad. We appreciate how much you've done, and we know it's huge for you to get up and set an alarm clock and join us for our races. You're a real credit to our championship, mate. We look forward to catching up with you next season, and no doubt you'll be a strong contender.
Great. Thanks for the time, guys.
And driver, unfortunately, who didn't have best of runs tonight, not making it to the finish, Lee Ellis. Lee, we've had a bit of an up and down season for yourself this one, and not the best of races, but how would you rate the season overall, mate?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. That's again, as I said a few weeks ago, it was pretty much a write-off season for me. Not here for most of the weeks, so I think I'm in the top 10, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, bring on next season. Hopefully, I get time to practice and put in a few good times.
Yeah, there has been some strong races in there. Just looking back through the stats, there's the 5th place back at Road Atlanta. Got to be happy with that one. But what do you think's going to happen for yourself? Bring on the new season.
Fingers crossed the V8 gets the NTM5 and gets all good like that. But I don't know. Hopefully top 5 again. See if I can go a bit further. But just wait what happens. Wait and see what happens. Kind of speak.
Well, you know that the pace is there, just got to put it together as a complete package, so hopefully if everything sort of works out, we can see you back more often in the top 10, top 5, and perhaps even further.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just nailed qualifying. Like, I was up by 3 or 4 tenths and screwed up pretty much every single corner, but hopefully I can just nail that and bring it on. Bring on bring on next season.
That's it, mate. We're all looking forward to it. I'm sure that all the drivers are too. And all the best for that one.
Cheers, man.
Now, that about wraps up all the driver interviews for us. So, to everyone who's taken part in all the racing this season, we're going to say big thanks from V8's Online. Congrats to all the winners, grinners, and we'll see you all next season. Big thanks, guys. And we'll also say thanks to Reese in the pits. Great work that you've done all season, buddy. And what do you think of all this one tonight?
I thought it was an absolutely fantastic race tonight, Leo. As usual in the iRacing V8 Supercars series, this has been some of the best racing I've ever seen, real life or sim racing, and I hope it continues into next season. So, yeah, thank you very much for having me on the broadcast. I definitely enjoy what I do, reporting on the actions of the drivers somewhat behind the scenes. So I'm hoping to do more of the same next season, so bring it on.
That's it, mate. Always good to have that bit of inside goss. Just brings a new layer to the broadcasts, and we know that the people out there appreciate it, and certainly helps us here too.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, guys.
And we're also hearing a bit of a last-minute interview, of course. Mr. Jay Kennedy, the voice of V8's Online.
Oh, don't say that, mate. Don't say that. Former voice.
Former voice. Mate, you've done a great job to set everything up here for us, and I'm just glad to be a part of it myself. But you haven't been taking it easy throughout your break. You've been busy in the background, and we hear you got some news for us.
Yeah, I've been busy in the background. Right now I'm currently editing and putting together episode 2 of Short Shift, which will be available on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. So very excited to get that out there. But that's not our big news. Exciting news coming as part of our Americas broadcasts. V8's Online will be broadcasting every round of the iRacing NASCAR series next season, the US Sunday night split. So the Americas team will be broadcasting every Sunday night NASCAR race. That's a Monday lunchtime Australian time. Every round, all 36 rounds. So that'll be fantastic.
That's going to be absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to keep track of that one because, of course, if I've read correctly, that's actually going to be the feeder series for the iRacing Pro Series on the oval side.
Yeah, that's correct. So it's a change up. Now the NASCAR series, which is run in Australia on Saturday nights, so anyone that loves their oval racing, come and join us on Saturday night. It's a good bit of fun. Of course, starting first weekend of Feb with the Daytona 500, the full 500-mile race. That's 800 Ks if you're playing at home. Yeah, so we'll broadcast every round of that series starting first weekend of February or second weekend of February. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we can't wait for that, and it's a big coup for us to be involved in such a massive thing with that series. So it shows we're really moving along and starting to get noticed in the American side of things.
That's it. So big hello to any international viewers, by the way. We appreciate the support, and we're looking forward to bringing you some great racing of your own. We already do it with the V8's America series, and now to incorporate the oval racing side of things, just get better from here.
I just want to say a bit of a shout out to Kane and JD for all their work in getting the Americas up and running. I think they've done all-nighters nearly every night since we started this, so well done to those guys. They've been getting up every morning to help us out, or staying up all night to try and get things ready to go. So they've done a fantastic job with the Americas broadcasts already. So yeah, thanks to those guys. Well done.
And of course, Sandman, you've been here for us, of course, throughout the entire season, seen it all, and what do you think, man? I reckon that was one for the ages.
Absolute ripper of a season, mate. The Tats boys really showed how it's done this season. We thought it was going to be Muggo's turn to do back-to-back, but unfortunately, real-life commitments got in the way, but brilliant job. Congratulations to Madison Down. 8 V8 Supercar titles. It's sensational. But so congratulations to him. Congratulations to everyone who's taken part in our championship and takes the time to stop by to the Combox at the end of each and every broadcast. And, of course, everyone that stops by and does hot laps. We appreciate all that. Big thank you to you, Leo. You've done a sensational job this season. It's been great to call the races alongside of you. Reese in the pits, a sensational effort. We couldn't do it without you, buddy. It's really good to get that inside goss from some of the other teams. It's been brilliant. And, of course, this all wouldn't be possible without Seb behind the scenes. It's been a big credit to you, mate. You put these things together so smoothly, and mate, bring on next season. It's exciting times for V8s Online. 2014 is going to be huge. And of course, don't forget the new episode of Short Shift due out and tomorrow afternoon, we hope. And make sure you go over and check out the Facebook page too at shortshift.tv. Don't forget, we've got a couple of people, guys there submitting their cockpit entries too, which is sensational. So it's good to see some of the guys supporting us and showing their rigs at home.
Thanks again, Sam, man. Great to be calling the action with you. And we'll send out a final shout out to V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. Thanks for all the support and helping us make this possible. Been a fantastic night of racing, a fantastic season of V8 Supercar racing, and we're going to wrap things up now for tonight. Of course, a big congratulations to Madison Down, 8-time champion of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. But the winner for this week, Rens Brookman.